At the end of the Second World War, the Cold War began between USA and USSR. These two nations tried to be one and only superpower country and were racing in space development. America thought that they were far more developed than Soviet in any field. But in 1957, October 4th, Soviet Union launched the very first ever artificial satellite Sputnik 1. Since these raced Soviets seemed to be more advanced, there came a lot of pressure from American public to the government. That's why on the 25th of May 1961, U.S. President John F. Kennedy announced a bold statement that within 10 years they would be the first ever country to go to the moon, leaving Soviet Union in the field of space race.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Due to this challenging statement, both nations focused at space race more than before. Trying to be the first nation landed on the moon was not only for research and posting their flag on the moon, but for flexing their military supremacy and their advancements in space technology. In 1965, both nations discovered the first picture of the dark side of the moon from their respective lunar probe. After seeing those photos, both American and Soviet Union realized that they were little late because our moon had already been occupied by other non-human species. Today what I am going to tell the story is about alien base that exists in the dark side of the moon. This will be interesting since it is backing by a lot of scientific evidence. So guys, please be open-minded and enjoy the story till the end. In 1969, July 20th, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first human landed on the moon's surface in human history. Michael Collins, people called him the Forgotten Astronaut, one of the crew of Apollo 11, was flying in the orbit of the moon where no one was there, waiting for Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. During performing the most proudly landing on the surface for mankind by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, Collins flew his command module along the dark side of the moon. Usually we thought of the dark side of the moon as the place of the moon where there was no light. But in reality it doesn't mean for darkness, it simply means the unseen part of the moon when we observe from the Earth. While Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin performed their mission for 21 hours, Collins flew alone in the orbit of the moon. There is no radio signal while flying in the area of dark side of the moon, so he could not communicate with any other crew from ground and his colleagues for 48 minutes while completing one lunar revolution with his command module.
Here what I mentioned, 48 minutes of no communication, means that it takes 118 minutes for a complete revolution of the moon with his command module, in which 48 minutes is required to cover the dark side area. Therefore he was contactless with anyone for 48 minutes and was flying alone.
I am alone now, truly alone, and absolutely isolated from any known life. I am it. If a count were taken, the score would be 3 billion plus 2 over on the other side of the moon, and 1 plus God knows what on this side.
During this time he heard some strange sound in his headset where there were no source as he was isolated from any living beings. Guys, think, what will you feel if you heard such strange sound? Aren't scared? But Collins did not feel any scared as he was already told during his training, "You are not alone." Michael Collins himself told that he would feel scared if he was warned that we are not only existence, there are also other beings in the moon other than human. Before Apollo 11 mission, NASA frequently mentioned that when you reach the moon you are not alone to all the crew: Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins and Buzz Aldrin.
Had I not been warned about it, it would have scared the hell out of me.
Apollo 10, which was launched on the 19th of May 1969, heard some strange sound while passing through dark side of the moon during orbiting the moon. This strange sound being heard by the astronaut of Apollo 10 with their headset. They called it as whistling space music.
That ain't music even sounds outer spacey, doesn't it? You hear that? That whistling sound? Yeah, it sounds like, outer space-time music.
This sound at first thought to be sound wave coming from the Earth, but the area they were flying is no communicable, no radio wave, no transmission dark side of the moon. Then they realized that the sound was not coming from our planet, rather it came from an area of the vast dark side of the moon. After these astronauts returned to the Earth, they told that there may be some advanced species, what we called alien, in the dark side of the moon. That is why Apollo 11's crew were warned that they might meet some other creature, so that Michael Collins did not feel scared while he heard the sound. Collins heard only the sound as he was flying in the orbit, but in the surface of the moon Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin really met the advanced creature.
There is a question: how could we know they actually met that advanced creature? Let us discuss. There are 1 hour's more length recording of communication between the astronauts and the ground staff, and also with U.S. President. Researcher found that more than 3 minutes in the recording was lost. Then they asked about this missing record. NASA simply replied the audio was lost. Do you believe such prominent organization NASA might have lost some part of the audio which records the historic moon mission? It seems like NASA tried to keep some secret from public. But some researchers could not find the lost audio but found the transcription. After seeing this transcription, we knew that why they intentionally lost this audio part of the recording.
In this 3 minutes audio recording, Neil Armstrong reported that there is other spaceship and the alien are looking at them.
No, it's not enough to believe. No one's gonna believe this. Whistle. I say that there were other spaceships. They're lined up on the other side of the crater. There they are, and they're watching us.
All the people of the world saw that American flag was posted on the surface of the moon by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. There are something no one knows other than the astronauts and the ground crew that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin kept a very small white color bag on the surface of the moon. Near the first footstep. Do you know what is it inside the bag? Let's see. Inside the bag, a peace symbol olive branch made by gold and a coin-sized disc were there. In this disc, only microscope could see containing message given by NASA and the leaders of the all country. So why should they brought this peace message where there was no one? Here is a question: if there was no one, why should they bring those objects? So I want to say is, NASA had already known that there was other creature other than human.